Coverage continues here as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is with former President Donald Trump at his estate in Mar-a-Lago. We now have brand new video and we can listen in. Let's watch and listen.
Closer to a third world war right now than at any time since the Second World War. You've never been so close because we have incompetent people running our country. Thank you very much, everybody.
Cool. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
All right, we may have clipped the very top of that. If we can re-rack that video, we'll listen to the first couple of seconds, give you a chance to do that. It's important to hear all of the former president's question. And of course, we hadn't seen it, so we didn't know he was already talking off the top. He's talking about Third World War and where we are in this spot. And I don't put Kamala Harris's name in the batch anywhere for solving this level of problem. What do you say about that?
Well, not only do we have the problems in the Middle East, but you have the Russian and the Chinese sending warplanes headed towards U.S. territory. They were headed off. We had to repel them. But the idea that they were doing this together, we haven't seen that. And that's a signal from both China and Russia that, hey, U.S., we know you're weak right now. We know you're weak.
Talk to me about the timing of that.
It scares me. And I think it should scare us because I think the vulnerability over the next 5.5 months, everybody has seen Joe Biden, how feeble he is. And you've heard a lot of Republicans, including J.D. Vance, say, how can you have to drop out of a presidential race yet continue to govern? And that begs a whole lot of questions. The timing is not coincidental. The Chinese and the Russians don't come into U.S. airspace like that or towards airspace. They didn't get there, but towards U.S. airspace. They don't do that by an accident. They do it on purpose.
So I want to further out what you just said, Jason, because the assumption then would be, well, if you kick out Biden, it's Kamala Harris. No, what Republicans, at least this is what I hear them saying, neither one of them can do this job anymore. He can't because he couldn't run, and Robert Hur told us he's an elderly man with a poor memory. But what we know about Kamala Harris is this is outside her gate of influence, potentially. But we've been asking who's running the White House. Tommy?
Who's been running the White House, and what indication do we have that Vice President Kamala Harris is ready to lead or that she's working herself up to be ready to leave? I haven't seen that from her yet. Obviously, it's very early, but I think when people see these moments of Donald Trump meeting with world leaders, that's, again, another good thing we need to see from him because Americans, whether they like Kamala or not, seeing him in that role, you just feel more confident.
Emily, we saw duplicity. We saw someone who said something in a meeting with Netanyahu and then said something different to the public. And Netanyahu said, that's not what Kamala Harris said to me in the meeting about where our relations are with Israel and the war against Hamas.
That's right. Finally, we have someone calling her out for what we've been noting for quite some time, which is an inability to be ideologically consistent, nor to show support and demonstrate support for our longest ally. Remember, she has a big problem with hubris and with indicators, sneakers on Vogue. I'm not meeting with a first spouse. So here, what we need is someone who invests in that position and who respects it.
Okay, real quick.
Iran, it's about Iran. And Kamala Harris, they don't realize this. And we had our Secretary of State saying, guess what? We've got a bomb coming.
Just quickly, Tammy Bruce, New York Times bestselling author already, has come out with Fear Itself. Give us a taste.
Thank you. Well, this conversation, perfect example. There are some things worth being afraid of. It's supposed to be transitory so we can address it. This is about the left's weaponization of fear, making it chronic, leading to mass anxiety, specifically to quell populations, so that it's too dangerous to participate in politics, too dangerous to talk about culture. My argument is it is not natural, it's not organic, it can be defeated. I tell you how. And that's this book. Obviously, the timing is pretty good, but I hope everyone gets it. I'm very proud of it.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching us here, America Report.
Okay, guys. So, wow, that's kind of a crazy statement from Donald Trump that we are closer to World War III than we've ever been. Of course, talking to Netanyahu there. And one thing that stuck out to me was that our world leaders, including Netanyahu, one of our longest, Israel being our longest time ally, that Netanyahu would meet with Trump, who at this point is still just a candidate, but it shows how much trust Israel is putting in Trump, and maybe hope and expectations that he does become the president. And then Trump said incompetence was the theme. The reason that we are so close to World War III is not because we have new weapons. It's not because we don't have crazier dictators. It's not because the world is, in some inherent way more unstable. It's because we have incompetent leadership, which is allowing the evil to manifest itself and push us closer to war. And then, of course, pointing right at Kamala Harris and saying that she was disrespectful of Israel. She snubbed Netanyahu when he spoke to Congress, instead choosing to speak to some, I can't even remember, but it wasn't a major thing, wasn't important. It wasn't something that you could skip. I think it was a sorority. It wasn't something that you would skip talking to one of our closest allies, or at least supporting one of our closest allies. Russian, Chinese warplanes buzzing us, coming close to our territory. Literally, we're having to intercept them. Come on, guys. This is absolutely unprecedented. Ridiculous that we are at this point where America is so weak in our enemies' eyes that they feel like they can send warplanes and to taunt us. Anyway, Trump, we've never been more close to World War III. This is just another reason why we need to get this guy elected president, because he is the definition of strength. We saw that with the assassination attempt. And anyway, so let's push hard, guys. Let's get him elected in November. All right, guys, I appreciate everyone. Thanks for watching America First. Y'all leave a like. It supports the channel. Subscribe for more videos like this. We'll be back later today with another video on the fight.